from behind. This is a very important conversation that we're having. So I really believe that's going to help a lot of us really come to an understanding of what it means to lead from behind. Because you see, what we are used to, or what we are normally uh, used to really from leadership, is really leading from the position of the front, leading from the front position. We always know that when you're a leader, you should be in the front and you should lead from the front. And leadership from behind is not a new concept, right? It's a concept that was adapted from Nelson Mandela's book by a Harvard professor, when Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, he says that great leaders lead like shepherds, and shepherds lead their sheep from behind. And so that was really where this whole concept of leading from behind came from. This Harvard professor read Nelson Mandela's book and was able to bring out that idea of leading from behind, because Nelson Mandela believed that great leaders lead like shepherds. And some of you know how shepherds lead. They lead from behind, they lead the folks, they guide them from behind. The shepherds don't go in front. The shepherds are there. They're, guiding them with their rod. So that's essentially, what leading from behind comes, or the idea of leading from behind comes from. So leading from behind really has to do with, you know, taking away the attention from yourself as a leader and putting the attention on your people. I'll say that again. Leading from behind really is taking the attention away from yourself as a leader and putting the attention, the spotlights on your people. That's what it means to lead from behind. Knowing that you as a leader don't have all the answers. You have laid bare the vision, you've laid bare the objective, but you are you are secured enough to allow all the people, your team members, the people in your group, the people in your community, to take the spotlight at the end of the day towards achieving that common objectives, or those common objectives. And so that's what leading from behind is. A leader that leads from behind is one that is willing to encourage team members to take the spotlight, to be the best of themselves. And I'm going to be looking at this in four aspects. What the leader that leads from the behind, or what leaders who have the leading from behind mindset uses or adapt. So a leader that leads from behind is a secured leader. A leader that leads from behind is a leader that wants to lead leaders. You see, a leader that leads from behind wants to lead leaders. They don't want to just lead people that are not ready to lead. A leader that leads from behind is making leaders. And so in the Spectacular Church, we're really excited about how we lead in the Spectacular Church, because we really believe that everyone is a leader and we want to lead. We want to put the spotlight on everyone, and we encourage people to join, be a part of what we're doing, and we want the spotlight to be on you. We're happy to have that spotlight on you. That's what leading from behind is. And I believe that in the future, the Spectacular Church will be a case study, or in institutions of learning, of examples of leading from behind. Today I'll be giving some examples of leading from behind, but I believe that the way we're setting up this organization is a way that we want people to be led from behind. We don't want to take the spotlight every time. We want our members to shine. That's the way we think in the Spectacular Church. And that's why we teach leadership, leadership masterclass. We're imbibing in you every Tuesday what it means to be a leader, the need to take responsibility. And so today I will teach and encourage and inspire every one of us here to lead, and what it takes to lead from behind. And so the leader that leads from behind does four things. The leader that leads from behind, the leader that leads from behind does four things. And I'm going to start with the four of them. Number one, they empower. The leaders that lead from behind empower. They empower. They empower you with the tools and the resources that you need to be the best of you. They empower you with the tools, the necessary resources that you need to get ahead. They want you to take that bold step, and they don't put you out there without giving you the necessary support with respect to resources that you need, with respect to the tools that you need. And so they empower you with the tools. Number two, they empower you by creating enabling environments. Environments where you can make mistakes and still thrive. Environment where you can be yourself. And so, number one is that these leaders empower. They empower with the enabling environment. They empower with resources, the necessary resources that you need. They empower with the necessary tools. They give you that empowerment. They empower you. They empower you to be able to stand on your own. They empower you with everything you need to get going. That's the first thing a leader that leads from behind does. They empower the people. You empower their people. If you're leading the team, you're not hiding some tricks. You're giving everything. You're willing to give everything to the team. You're giving them the secrets. You're teaching them everything you know. You're teaching them everything. You're empowering them with the skills, with the tools. That's what it means to lead from behind. That's what it means to lead from behind. Leading from behind is empowering them. You're not just saying, go and do it. You're giving them all they need to do it. You're giving them the support. So, number one, the leader that leads from behind empowers. Number two, the leader that leads from behind builds. They build. They are builders. So they empower you, but they don't just empower you, they build you. They build your self-confidence. Number one, they build your self-confidence. So a leader that leads from behind empowers you with the resources, with the environment. And they go a step further, number two, to build your self-confidence. They build your self-confidence. They make you believe in yourself. So they build your belief in yourself. They build trust. Sometimes some people don't. What some people need is just a little trust. A little trust. Just trust them enough. Just believe in them enough. And so what the leader does, that leads from behind does, is that they build your self-confidence and they build trust, that sense of trust in you, to trust in yourself because they trust in you. Some people, all they need is someone to just trust them. The leader that leads from behind, trust them. They trust in their abilities. They trust in their capabilities. They trust in their potentials. And they're able to help them see it. They build you up. That's what leaders do. Leaders that lead from behind. They build your sense of value. They make you see yourself more than you actually see yourself. They bring out a part of you never realized. That's what great leaders do. Great leaders are like shepherds. That's what they do. They give you a sense of value. They make you feel valued. There are two types of leaders. Number one are leaders that make themselves, when you're with them, you feel their value. But there is another type of leader that when you're with them, you feel your value. You see, it's just what it is. The other leader makes you feel their value, but there are another sets of leaders, or say another group of leaders who make you feel your value. When you're with them, you feel like you can do it. You feel empowered. You feel valued. You get to know, you feel your own sense of value. There are some leaders you will be with. After time with them, all you will feel is, wow, this person is great. But there's some leaders you will be with. All you will feel is, wow, I can do great things. I can be great. I will be great. I am great. The leaders that lead from behind help you to see your sense of value. They help you to see the value in who you are. That's what they do. Leaders that lead from behind are leaders that empower you. They empower you and then build you up. They build your sense of value. They build that trust in you. They build the self-confidence. They build your capabilities. your trust in your capabilities. That's what they do. So you see what these leaders do, leaders from behind. They don't just throw you out in the waters and allow you to swim and drown. No, they don't do that. They build you up, they equip you. You see, as parents, you notice something as parents. When we have our children, we're leading them from the front. But it gets to a point in the life of our children, we start leading them from behind. It's because we're beginning to build a sense of confidence in them. You can't continue to lead your children from the front all the days of their life. At some point, you need to allow them to take the lead and you become a guide over them because you have empowered them and you're building them up. Don't build your children up to the extent that you always need you in the front. If all you're doing as a parent is that you will always lead your children in the front, you are not truly helping your children. It's the same thing. It's the same thing for your team members. It's the same thing for people in your communities. It's the same thing for your leaders. It's the same thing for people in your sphere of influence. As a leader, have the objective that you will lead, yes, at some point, at the front position. But at some point, you must be willing to go behind so that they can go ahead. You push them to the spotlight. And you don't just push them and throw them under the bus and abandon them. No. What you do is you're helping them. You're there. There's that sense of assurance they have that in case they make mistakes, you're there. In case they don't do something correctly, you're there. Because that's why you're a leader that leads from behind. And so a leader that leads from behind does, number one, they empower. Number two, they build up. Number three, a leader that leads from behind creates. They create. They are good creators. Leaders that lead from behind create space for creativity. They give room for creativity. They want you to be creative. They want you to go above. They give you space to go above, beyond the box. Maybe the box that you've created as a leader. But you know that giving them room for creativity will help them to think outside the box, outside your spheres. And that gives room for growth and creativity. They are free to innovate. They are free to explore. Sometimes some leaders want the people that they lead not to explore outside them. That's not true leadership. If you're a true leader, you will encourage your people to explore. You will encourage your team to explore, to be themselves, to explore, to be creative, to be innovative. And so they're not limited by you as a leader. No, that's how you lead from behind. You want them to be greater than you. How would they be greater than you if you don't give them an opportunity to be led from behind? You have to give them an opportunity. The greatest achievement of every leader is to be able to build people that will be greater than you, that will lead beyond you, do better than you. And that's what it means to lead from behind. The leader from behind creates that enabling environment. He creates opportunity for collaboration. He wants the team members to collaborate, to work together. One of the things that we do in the spectacular churches, we really encourage our members to work together. We want them to work together. We want people to work together. We love it. We know that working together in the place of collaboration, we do more. We achieve more. And so we don't work in isolation. We don't love working in isolation. We want to work together. It's something we do in the spectacular church because we understand the importance of leading from behind, where we create room for our members to collaborate and do amazing things. You'll be amazed some of the things that our members have done that we, the leadership, we're not aware of. We're not aware of it. We just see amazing stuff. They're organizing programs together. They're doing things. They're doing stuff. Many things have happened within our community that leadership is not aware of because we have created an enabling environment for our members to collaborate, to create value together. And so that's what it means to lead from behind. You create an enabling environment for collaboration, for creativity. You create room for growth. You create room for growth. That's what you do As a leader that is leading from behind, you create that room for growth for your members, for your team members, for your children, for your spouse, for the people that you lead. You don't limit their growth. You see the potentials of this person. You see that this person is heading in this direction. You give them room to grow. Some leaders are so insecure that they don't want their people to grow. And when they see that this person has a potential to grow, they just stop that growth. They put a stamp on the growth because they are leaders. That is not correct leadership. Correct leadership is you identifying a potential for growth and nurturing that growth, that potential to become a reality. That's what you do. A great leader identifies the potential for growth and nurtures it to become a reality. You see that this person has this capability, even could be more than you, could be better than you. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't be insecure. You're a leader. What you do as a leader is give them the room to blossom, to be the best of themselves. So you create that environment, that enabling environment for growth. You create that enabling environment for creativity and innovation. You create the enabling environment for your team members to be themselves. That's what leaders do. That's what they do. That's what they do. At the end of the day, when everyone grows, when everyone in the team becomes a better leader, it benefits everyone. It always benefits everyone. Because great leaders are not really interested in who gets the glory. The key thing that we are concerned about as great leaders is that we achieve the common good, is that we attain to the greatest height together. You see, so great leaders are not interested in the glory. They're not interested in the spotlight. They're interested in achieving the mission, the objective, and the vision of the common good of the community, of the organization, of the company. That's what is most important. And so, leading from behind is being selfless. Leading from behind is seeing beyond you. The moment you start leading from behind, you've started building a legacy. You see, if you think legacy, you will at some point know that it is time for you to start leading from behind. Great leaders know that they know when to stop leading in the forefront and get behind to train, to build others. They know. Great leaders know because they understand legacy. They understand legacy. You can't be at the forefront in the life of your children every time. You can't, because there will be a time when you will not be there. You see, so you have to lead them from behind that they may stand on their, knowing that you have their back. It's very important. It's very important. And so leading from behind is a legacy way of thinking. Leading from behind is a legacy way of thinking. Write it down. Leading from behind is a legacy way of thinking. Except you're so self-absorbed that you think that it will always be about you every time, then you are not willing to lead from behind. But if you understand that at some point, you will not be able to lead, then you begin to think legacy beyond you. It's always beyond you. You give others opportunity to shine, to carry on the vision, to carry on the mission, to carry on the goal, to carry on the baton. That is what it means to lead from behind. And finally, number 4, leading from behind. One of the things that leaders that lead from behind do is they give. So number 1, they empower. Number 2, they build. Number 3, they create. And number 4, they give. Leaders from behind, or those that lead from behind, they give. They give ownership. Number 1, they give ownership. They make you feel like they give you ownership. They are not self-absorbed to take that they are the owner of the vision. No, leaders from behind give you ownership. They say, take ownership of the vision. Take ownership. Take ownership. They give you ownership. That's the power of leading from behind. And so you see the people that you're leading taking ownership even more than you, because you are leading from behind. You give them ownership and they take it. Some people are afraid to lead because their leader has not given them ownership. Their leader is about their leader, me, 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 me. Yeah, some people are just a one-man show. But for some of us that have a big way of that thing big, we know that to achieve greatness, it can never be a one-man show. A one-man show can only attain so much. And so leaders that lead from behind, like I said, think legacy. And so they give, number one, ownership. Number two, they give guidance. They give direction. Because they are giving you opportunity to lead from behind. And they are there to give guidance. In case you're making mistakes, they are guiding you. In case you need any help, they are there. They don't leave you and say, okay, go, go, go. I'm not going to help you, and die with their wisdom. Leaders from behind don't die with their wisdom. They empty it. They guide. They direct. They're there to give guidance. They're there to give counsel. The Bible says that in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And so leaders from behind, they are guiding. They are counseling. They are helping. That's what they do. So you see how powerful it is to lead from behind. It's a good thing. I'm not saying that leading from behind doesn't mean you abscond and just, relegate your responsibility as a leader. No, that's not what it means. It means that what you're doing is you're putting the spotlight on your people, giving them opportunity to be themselves while you are helping them along the way. That's what that's what the shepherd does. The shepherd is never in front. Watch the shepherd. The shepherd is always behind. He's always behind. Guess who leads the pack? The smartest sheep. They lead the pack. The ones that are the smartest sheep is the leader of the pack. If you go and check, there's always a leader of the pack. He's not the shepherd. The shepherd is behind, leading them. He's leading them, but he's behind. And sometimes one sheep or two sheep will be leading the pack. You see how it works? And so leaders from behind identify leaders and guide them to lead. Lead the vision, lead the team, lead the community, lead the corporation, lead the church, lead the organization, lead the family. So the leaders from behind want to empower their leaders. They want to make leaders of the team. Some people just want to make followers of their team. I'm not interested in followers. I'm interested in leaders. I always tell myself, I want leaders. I love leaders. And so the team must be made up of leaders, not followers. The team must be made up of leaders. Be passionate about building leaders. So when you have a team of leaders, you're able to do more. You're able to achieve more. You're able to be more. A lot of people don't know this because they want to be the only leader in the team. No, you don't want to be the only leader in the team. You want to be the leader of leaders. Yeah? That everyone is a leader in the team. And what that means is that, when you have a team of leaders, you must lead from behind. That's the truth. When you have a team of leaders, you can't always lead in front. A team of leaders, you must give opportunity because leaders want to lead. You have to give them opportunity to lead. You have to give them opportunity to shine. Except you're not leading leaders, then you will be the one that is always in front. But if you are leading leaders, you understand that you need to give them opportunity to be themselves, to innovate, to be creative, to take the vision to greater heights. Don't be small-minded as a leader. I'm speaking to parents. I'm speaking to team leads. I'm speaking to community leaders, department leaders. Wherever you are leading, think like this. Have this mindset. It will help you achieve greatness. I pray that the Lord will open our eyes to see. In Jesus' name, amen. Leaders give. They give encouragement, but they also give praise and accolades. They give praise and accolades. When someone does a good job, they praise them. They don't try to take the credits. They don't try to take the credit, oh, I'm the one, it's you, I'm the leader. No, they allow their team to shine. They do that. They do it with joy. They want everybody to shine. And when someone does something, they praise them. They praise them. They praise them. They appreciate them. That's what you do. You give the praise. You give the credits. That's what you do as a leader. Leaders encourage. They give encouragement. In case the leaders are feeling discouraged, they're feeling like they're not, you encourage them. You don't laugh at them. You don't bring them down. You don't discourage them. You encourage them. You keep encouraging them. That's what it means to lead from behind. You don't tell them, oh, you see, only me can do this. You see, you try, you can't do it. No, let me step in. No, you encourage and you keep encouraging them until they're able to stand. Until they're able to stand. That's what leaders do. Do you know that, and I'm going to give some examples. Do you know that some organizations, some very successful products that they have had was because they allowed for opportunity for employees to lead, to shine, to lead and to shine. There's so many examples, endless examples I can give of how organizations where they have the mindset of leading from behind have succeeded. Sony, I'll give you one example, Sony. Sony, as an organization, did not believe in going into the gaming business. They didn't believe it. They didn't think they were a gaming, they thought it's not something that was important to them. One of the employees, had this Nintendo game, which was a powerful game at that time. Nintendo game. It was a powerful game for the daughter. And he saw that the game was good, but it wasn't really panning out well. He had ideas of like, I think I need to, this can be better. He worked with Sony, went to meet, senior manager. Senior manager said, no, we can't do this. It's not this. We're not a gaming company. We're an electronic company. But that guy continued until he met the CEO. When he met the CEO, the CEO said, wow, this is a good idea. Let's partner with Nintendo. They tried to partner with Nintendo, it didn't work. Then they decided to start their own company, their own gaming company. And guess what they came out with? PlayStation. Today, PlayStation is one of the greatest products that came out of Sony. It was leading from behind. The CEO allowed an employee's idea to take root in his own company. And today, PlayStation, how many young men don't play PlayStation? PlayStation was a product of an employee. It was not the CEO or the founder of Sony that discovered PlayStation. It was an employee. It was not the CEO. It was not the founder. It was an employee who was given the opportunity to shine. Today, PlayStation has generated millions, hundreds of millions of dollars for Sony. Enabling environment. Imagine if that CEO was saying, no, if it's not my idea, it can't, no, it has to be different. Imagine if he had squashed it. There will be no PlayStation. Or it wouldn't have been the Sony products. Think about it. Imagine if that CEO has squashed that idea. Don't forget, he took that idea to his manager. His manager squashed it. He had to take it up and above and got the CEO. It was the CEO that bought the idea. And today we have PlayStation. One of Sony's greatest pride is PlayStation. You see, there are so many countless examples that I can give. Many of you eat in McDonald's. For those of you that have children, this Happy Meal. Happy Meal is a product of an employee. One of the regional managers of of McDonald's decided to experiment and said, let's do this package for children and all of that. And he tried it and it worked. Immediately, top management picked it up and then they made it into a product and called it Happy Meal. Happy Meal. Guess what? McDonald's sells 3 million Happy Meals every year. Millions of Happy Meals. It was an idea that was allowed to thrive. Today, when you go to McDonald's, children love Happy Meal. My children love Happy Meal. Anytime they go to McDonald's, that's what they want. They want Happy Meal. It's for children. It's a children meal. It was the idea of an employee who was allowed to thrive. They didn't hide his name. Oh. The story, we know his name. We know the person's name. So it wasn't, the employee didn't squash it and say, and hide and say, no, this thing is our idea. They still recognize that this idea came from this person. Their names are there. The PlayStation guy, his name is there. Is known. So what am I trying to say? When we give opportunity as leaders to lead from behind, great things happen. Great things happen when in your team you allow ideas. Great things happen. Great things happen when you allow team members to be the best, to be themselves. Don't squash the ideas because it's not your idea. After all, I won't take the spotlight. They will say it's not me that found it. You don't have to be the one that found it. Yes, God placed you in that position to lead the vision or to start or whatever, to be in the position of leadership. It doesn't mean that everything must come from you. As a matter of fact, everything cannot come from you. If that vision is to go far and beyond, everything can never come from you. Every leader must know this. Every leader knows this. Great companies, great organizations, they adapt leading from behind. They know when to step back. They know when to step back. You see, another classic example is Bill Gates. Bill Gates started Microsoft at a very young age and took it up to become one of the greatest software companies in the world. But he knew when to step back. He stepped down as the CEO of Microsoft and gave opportunities for other people. And Microsoft has gone ahead to create more innovative products, to continue to lead the pack in technology. You see what I'm saying? You need to know when to leave the front and come behind as a leader. You need to know. You cannot always be in front. Know when to go behind. At the point when you go behind and lead from behind, then you have begun to think of legacy. It's no more selfishness. It's legacy. It's beyond me. I pray that the Lord will open our eyes to know when to lead from behind as parents, as team leads, as community leaders, as managers, as any position of leadership that you find yourself, that you know when to lead from behind. I'll give you another example and I'll wrap up with this. Many of us know this matches. You know this matches, right? You know matches. The stick of matches, if you notice the stick of matches, before now, the stick of matches, those, the coating of the stick of matches, it used to be on both sides. And now it's on one side. It used to be on both sides. One of the laborers in Swamp, that's the main company that started matches in 1900 now, I'm talking about 1900, went to top management and said, why not us try to do this stick of matches and coat one part instead of two parts? Let's coat one part of the stick instead of two parts of the stick. Some mid-level management said, who is this guy to give us this thing? Go away from here. But the guy pushed. And they said, let's try it. And they adopted it. Instead of coating the two heads of the stick, they started coating one head of the stick. And then it blew and became a phenomenal success. They saved a lot of money. So what's the idea of coating two parts of the sticks? It doesn't make any sense. But that was how they started. But somebody, a nobody in the company, came up with the idea and said, let's coat one instead of two. And so when you strike that matches stick, it will burn the entire stick. So why are you coating two parts of it? And that's what we have today. That idea was an employee's idea. The founders of that match company, they did, that's not the way they thought about it. But somebody was allowed to be creative. In the 1900s, this is a story of the 1900s. Somebody was allowed to be creative. And today, match, the way that person advised for match to be created is the way we are still creating matches till today. Think about it. I can go on and on. Many powerful stories of people that were allowed to be themselves. People that were allowed to be themselves. How they innovated. And everyone benefited. Everyone. It might be your children. It might be your colleagues. It might be your team members. Don't discard their ideas. Don't die their potentials. No. No. Be the leader that leads from behind. I pray that the Lord will help us and strengthen us and uphold us. In Jesus' name, amen. I'll stop here for now. Happy to take questions. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Pastor Michael. This was really deep. To be very honest, when I thought about leading from behind, came into mind. And thank you for addressing it the way you do. And there's always the other part of it where people feel very secure, but again, the way you brought up the part of, they don't do it now, but it's the legacy you build as you lead from behind as well. Those are some of the key things that I picked, but I'm sure each and every one of us in this room, you have benefited from it. One other classic thing as well, which we sometimes forget, is the classic examples, like the way you brought up, the PlayStation, as well as, classic examples like the Happy Meal. Those are real, and again, coming from employees, just being given that environment that is enabling. So I'll just go straight into the questions. So once again, thank you so much for your wisdom and for your leadership. And as well, the way you put it across, I'll reiterate on that point, that this is exactly what is being encouraged in the spectacular church, when these opportunities are being given, for people to lead and to join into leadership. Thank you so much for that. I'll go straight into the questions that have started coming through. And I do hope that, with your wisdom again, we'll have some of the answers come through. The first one goes, my boss is the kind of leader who leads from behind, which is good, I guess, because that's what you're actually teaching. However, she sometimes gets insecure when we tend to do things well. She keeps asking questions about the things we have done well. So I don't want to get much on that, but it's as if, sometimes they lead from behind, but hoping that you fail or what. But when they do well, they keep asking a lot of questions. So they are saying, this person is saying, how can I act normal around her? Because I'm always upset when she does that.
This is a powerful question. I love this question. There's sometimes some people say they are leading from behind, but they want you to fail. They actually want you to lead and fail so that they will still take the glory that they are the only one that can lead. Those are not leaders from behind. Those are setups for failure. We don't call them leaders from behind. They are setups for failure. And we have this kind of people in our businesses, in our offices. We have some of them as managers. We have some of them as team leads. Unfortunately, sometimes we have some of them as parents, guardians, even pastors. They would like you to take the lead not because they want you to succeed, but because they want you to fail and come back to them. And when you succeed, they feel very insecure. What does it mean to be secured as a leader? What it means to be secured as a leader is that you don't need someone's failure to feel validated. That's what it means to be secured. Someone doesn't have to fail to validate your strength. Some people, they feel secured in the failure of others, that their strength may be validated. They feel secured in the failure of others, that they themselves will feel validated. That's their insecurity. But it's an insecurity in itself. You don't need other people's failure to feel good. If you need other people to feel like you're successful, then you're not truly successful. If you need other people to feel like you're doing well, then you're not really doing well. And so great leaders who lead from behind, they don't, their leadership capabilities, their security as leaders is not in your failure as a leader. I don't know if I'm making sense. And so when you find yourself around people who want you to feel like they are successful leaders because you have failed as a leader, then they have failed. Every leader, every great leader must be willing to, let me put it this way. Every great leader, what makes you a great leader is that you're producing great leaders, even greater than you. Even Jesus said that greater works shall you do. And so as a great leader, you must be able to produce those that will outpass you, that will be greater than you. That's what makes you a great leader. And you are secured in your greatness, that the ones that you have brought up are greater than you. That is true greatness. That is true greatness. You shouldn't be competing with the leaders that you are creating. You see, that's the problem. When you start competing with leaders that you're creating, instead of collaborating, you see it now. Instead of collaborating, you want to compete with your leaders that you and brought up these leaders. You have been leading them. You've helped them to be great. Now you want to compete with them. You see where the problem is. Instead of competing, you collaborate. Work together to achieve more. In leadership, it's not a competition. It's a collaboration. I'm sorry for that person who happened to be faced with a leader who is competing with them, who feels insecure in their success. You don't have a good leader. My advice to you is you need to find yourself a secured leader. Because when you stay in an environment where your leader is competing with you, it's a toxic environment. I'm sorry to say, to put it lightly. You want to be in an environment where your leader is happy to see you succeed and wants you to be a great leader. That's what you want. That's what we all deserve. You want to be in a place where your leader wants you to do well. And when you do well, they celebrate you. They celebrate you. That's what you want. You don't want to be in a team where you as a leader, you do well and your boss is angry with you, your manager is angry with you. They're questioning, how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you do it? You see their face squeezed. They're not happy that you did it well. Or maybe even, some people are only happy that you did it well to the extent that you're not more than them. How you know the measure of someone that is a truly great leader is how they behave and comport themselves when the people they lead even do better than them. You see, of course, there's a place of humility, but there's a place of you as a leader. There's a place of humility on the part of the ones that you are leading, but there's a place of you as a leader to be secured that the ones that you lead should and can do far better than you. That's the truth. They can do greater. And that's not a problem. At the end of the day, it's a collaboration. We're collaborating together. We're working together. It goes both ways. Some people feel like once they start doing greater than their leader or better than their leader, then this person is no longer their leader. They become proud and all of that. That's the other side of it. But the other side of it I'm speaking to is leading from behind, where you as a leader must be willing. And that's why you see some men can't stand their wives any more than them. It's part of this leading from behind. Some men and cannot lead. Some marriages will crash if the wives become the top earner of the home. Some marriages will crash. It will not survive. This is leading. This is practical leading from behind. And it's not necessarily always the fault of the men. It could be fault of the both of them. But I'm speaking to this in the sense that, you know, that's why I say that as a leader, don't get your validation from the shortcoming of others. Your validation shouldn't be from the shortcoming of others. Be secured in who you are as a leader, that you're fulfilling the purposes of God for your life. That's what makes you a good leader, a great leader. And I pray for every one of us. I just want to encourage that person. My advice to you is, of course, be humble, deal with that person diplomatically. But in the long run, I think you should find yourself a better leader. That's what you need to do. Find yourself a better leader. You see, I'm always careful to say this, but I think that it's important that when you stay under wrong leadership, if you're not careful, you will adopt the model of wrong leadership. That's the problem. When you stay under wrong leadership, if you're not careful, you will just start copying wrong leadership. You will become that thing you don't like. That's what I'm saying. If you're not careful, you become that person that you despise. So I always encourage people, find quality leadership and be under those quality leadership. It will help you to be the best of you. Because your leaders, especially people that influence you, your leaders, because leadership is influence, they influence you, they have a huge role they play in how your life shapes out. Choose your leaders carefully. Yeah. I don't know if I answered that question, but that's my suggestion, my simple advice to that person. Thank you very much.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much for that. Really, really, you went into delved into detail with it, especially the collaboration on it, and it actually touched on other questions that we actually had. So we're just going to skip that because of our time as well. Thank you, Pastor Michael, for that. I'll hand over to Dr. Solomon just to round us up as we close this up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am clapping. That was really, really. I said earlier when we started that it promises to be an exciting time. Thank you for this time, for putting all this particular teaching together. Very concise, and I believe that it was more than informing, but it's actually meant to transform us. And God will bless you, continue to bless you for what you are doing here, because you are building people, you are investing in our lives. We are grateful to God, and we thank you for giving your time to this, Pastor Michael. God bless you. Thank you very much. And everyone that is here, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to share with us, that we may grow together and influence our world. We are change agents that are being, we receive, and we are going out to, to bring this positive impact to the world. God bless you, everyone here. And I just want to quickly run through our general announcements. We are here. We meet at 5 a.m. West Africa time for our starting our day with Jesus, with prayer and declaration. 5 a.m. West Africa time.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I'll be shutting down on all platforms right now. And as we shut down on Clubhouse, thank you so much for joining us. Please join us tomorrow as we continue our relationship service. It's going to be on at same time, 8 p.m. West African time. You don't want to miss relationship service. I'm going to be tackling challenges of marriage. You don't want to miss it. Join me 8 p.m. West African time on all platforms. Please follow us on every platform that you're watching from, on Facebook, And on YouTube, please follow us so that you're able to get notified once we come up live. The Lord bless you as you do so. Do have an amazing day. Thank you very much.